Ishe Smith.
Yo, what's good?
What up, champ?
How
First and
you doing,
foremost,
man?
I'm good, man. But first and foremost, congratulations on your son and everything that's going on with you and him. I'm happy to see y'all doing well, and you proud of him. But I'm happy to have you
Oh,
back, man. It's been a minute, bruh.
it's been a minute, man. I've been seeing you and the missus getting it in, hiking and all that. I say, man, I need to get my fat ass in the gym and do something, man.
Yeah, man.
How you
We've
been?
been motivated. Yeah, man. Getting ready for this wedding and just grinding, man. But you are the perfect guest, man. We talking Mayweather losing Jalil Hackett to Eddie Hearn. We talking Jahan Ingram wants his release, and is Carmel Moten next, man? And we just as fans don't understand why a guy that has made such a living from boxing. He's such a popular figure. Like, I mean, look at what he did for Carmel just by simply saying to the world what Carmel can do or not do. He's made Carmel into a big name already, where many argue that he's the biggest name on the Mayweather promotion stable. But he just doesn't promote traditionally like a Bob Arum or an Eddie Hearn, man. And we wish he did because he obviously can find talent. Like Carmel's a star. Jalil Hackett will be a star. Like Tank is a star. He knows how to find the talent, but the cultivating of it seems to be off.
Look, man, the problem with that, well, the problem with that when that brand is he doesn't take interest enough for the company to keep the fighters busy enough. And the problem with that brand is when he was fighting, everything was great, man. I mean, he took an interest into what kind of was going on. After he retired, that all went out the window. And people say, "Oh, he says this, he says that," because I always drop subliminals. But then they don't say nothing when this happens. So I'm never going to just, you know how it is. I talk to you guys off the record all the time. Every time I'm around y'all, I tell y'all what it is. But you see how that whole situation is with them losing fighters. I'm surprised that Carmel even signed with them because he needs to be active, man. He needs to be busy. Your job as a promoter is to to promote you, to build you to the masses, to build that house, that household name. We want to see Carmel like every other month, every couple months. We want to see him. Why isn't he busy? And that is the problem with that brand is they just don't promote you well enough. And it's not just these guys. It was the guys in the past. It was the guys coming up. So many broken promises that I know of personally from guys I was on the same team with. And like I said, luckily for me, God, I was able to kind of get it when it was good. I came when it was good. Badu Jack came when it was good. Ashley Theophane, Jay Leon, we all got it when it's good. But slowly but surely, it just started going downhill, going downhill, going downhill. And I feel bad for those guys because as a fighter, you don't make money unless you're fighting. You need to fight and you need to build those guys up. And I just don't think they do a good job at that. And you'll always be second fiddle to the PBC guys. You're never going to get that full promotion like the PBC guys get. And I don't even think those PBC fighters are busy enough. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of these guys deflect and go in other places to stay busy.
Yeah, man. I mean, when it was rumored that they were looking for a network, um, as a consumer, I was really pushing for them to go to the zone just so we could have everything at one place. And people were so excited about this Prime deal that seemed to have fizzled into nothing. Like, we didn't get no show in April. We got one show in March, one show in May. We might get the Tank show in June. We don't know about July and so many other months. It's just so much inconsistency right now. It sucks too because I don't watch anything else. So I'm always looking for boxing, and there is certainly a void on that side.
Yeah, they just don't, they don't keep the guys busy enough. And that's the thing. That's why you got to respect guys that go out, say what you want to say about Bill Haney, say what you want to say about Devin. They grabbed it by the horns and did it their way. And you have to respect somebody taking his son and grabbing it by the horns and saying, you know what, it ain't no side of the street with us. We willing to work on any side. We willing to work on any side. You see, the saddest thing is that a lot of those guys were brainwashed. You see AB now fighting for Don King. I bet you AB wish he would have, and I love AB. I bet you he wish he would have took that, Rockefeller or whatever that deal was back in the day with that company that came to offer him like the 6 fights,
Yep.
30, 40 million, something like
Yep.
that. Guys just aren't that loyalty. Let me tell you something. There's no loyalty in this game. There's no loyalty. So fighters, get that out your mind. There's no loyalty. You lose one fight, you're cut. That's it. They'll cut you. They have that right to release you. Your job in this game is to achieve whatever you have set forth you want to achieve. You want to be champion, you want to fight on networks, you want to get paid. That's your job, and to pay your team. At the end of the day, no, your loyalty should not rely with any managers, any promoters, none of that. Because as soon as they get the opportunity to cut you, to not fight you, to do you dirty, that's exactly what they want to do. And in this game, they all gonna fuck you. You just gotta find the person that's gonna use grease and not fuck you the hardest. That's the best thing you gotta, that's the best advice I could give these fighters, man, because there's no loyalty in these games. You can't be loyal to anyone, man.
Man, that's so unfortunate, man. It's not helping this sport grow, knowing that it's fractured internally and from a network standpoint, because we're fragmented because of so many different networks. And then, you're telling us that internally it's also damaged because of the promoters and managers looking to get one over.
And you think about it, what did they didn't they have Richardson hit? Didn't they have him?
Yeah, they
They
had
had him.
Hitchens. They had
They've had
Hitchens.
they've had a piece of somewhat of everybody, and they just do a shitty job at promoting. And I don't, it's there's more stories. Like there's more stories that I could say, but it's not gonna do me no good to sit up here and say the rumors about guys not being paid, people not being paid. Doesn't mean no good to do that because people gonna deem it that I'm hating or I'm bitter. I'm not bitter, man. I've sent 4 kids to college. There's nothing bitter about me at all. At all. Like I got 2 that graduated college. I got a third one going to college right now on the soccer scholarship. Anybody follow me on social media know there's nothing bitter about me, man. I'm not bitter at all. But when you take me, the boxing game is one of the grimiest business. You take me back to my dealings in this game from my early pro career all the way through all of it, man. I'm not bitter at I don't like the game sometimes. And I don't like when guys go through certain things like this. It's a lot of shit that I just don't like. Like I don't understand why we capping for a guy that tested positive. I don't understand that. Like why are we protecting a guy that tested? Why is it a conspiracy theory with everything? Like it's a conspiracy theory with everything. God tests positive for PEDs, and now we're gonna fault Devin for that. If it was Devin, the whole like what? Why do we have so many things that just cannot? Why are everything got to? I just don't get it, Ness, man. I'm confused of the state of the game and where it's going, man. I really am.
Yeah, man. That whole PED situation is crazy because it worked kind of like that with Canelo. The popular, and Alicia Bumgarner, the popular fighters get a slap on the wrist, and from the public, they get defended. It's just, it is what it is. I don't know how to fix that. I don't. Fans are just the one thing that is uncontrollable. You know what I'm saying? They're always gonna have an opinion, and it's not necessarily always gonna be correct. Shout out to Jahan Ingram. I hope he's joking. He says $10 super chat. So I ain't a star, my guy. Laugh out loud. Champ, you a star. You know that. They just gotta push you. You know how it go. I mean. It's just unfortunate because a guy like Kermel is younger than Jahan, and he got to fight on PBC cards. Jahan has yet to fight on a PBC card. At least we've gotten to see Kermel. So I just wish Floyd could do better, man, because he's such a big name in this sport. We see him time and time again. Look, I mean, look what he's done with Tank. And again,
Did he
the eye for talent
did he
is
really
there.
do that for Tank? Did he really do that for Tank? Let me
Yeah,
tell
he
you a
did.
story about Tank. I saw Tank when Tank fought on my undercard at the Palms. I forgot who I was fighting. I saw him in the gym. I saw him knocking out 154. I saw him stopping guys my weight. I looked at him. Came out when he came out the ring. I was like, "Yo, this is like when they first signed him." I said, "Man, what weight you fight at?" He told me 130, 135. I said, "Man, damn, you strong, dog." I said, "I've never seen that kind of power since, my man Chico. I spent a lot of camps with Chico. We had the same trainers. We crossed paths, so
Corrales?
we spent a lot of camps together. And then me and Chico's family got close. I fought on some of his undercards. So Chico ended up being like a mentor of mine. And I hadn't seen that in the gym. You see a guy knocking people out with 16-ounce gloves on and headgears. I mean, I remember him knocking somebody out standing up. Like my man was knocked out against the ropes. And I was like, man, that power is legit. And you know, I just told him like, man, you got it, man, you got it. And I don't say that, to everybody. You got it. And this was before he took off, before he was a big Tank. This was back in the day when I was going on here, when everybody was saying he was scared of Loma, he couldn't beat Loma, and I was like, yo, that boy got some hot shit in that gloves. Is that I don't know if Loma can take that. I don't necessarily think that they promoted Tank. I think he promoted himself with his brand and how he is. And PBC did put him in a platform, put him on a platform to be able to fight, to that demographic, to the rappers, to that whole demographic. So I can't really say they actually took him and promoted him and did everything. Like I really can't say that, man, because Tank, no matter if Tank was with our promotion, as if we had a promotional company, he was gonna still be a star because that's the type of fighter that he is.
Yeah, but
So I
but but
always
but you don't think
thought that.
Floyd puts you especially you being a guy that fought on a lot of his undercards. You don't think that he puts you in a certain under different eyeballs?
Well, you got to understand their relationship has been rocky for many years. Like one minute they good, one minute they not. This
For
may be a
sure.
situation. This may be a situation where they're not good right now. So
And
if
I can
if
agree to that, but we still can also agree that he's gotten at least a good, I don't know, 7 years, maybe five, at least 5 years worth of Floyd pushing him and being in his fights and videos and
why the beef then? What's
no, no,
going
no,
on
no,
behind
no,
closed
no, no.
doors?
In no
That's the
way,
beef.
in no way am I trying to say Floyd is doing a good job for Tank. I'm just saying that he did what he did for Tank. Like, could he do more? Hell yeah. Are they happy? No. I'm just saying he still he put him in a lot of positions and in front of a lot of eyeballs. He's gotten main events because of that. I want to
I
assume
think
because of the
I think
relationship.
Tank, but if you was really doing that, what's going on with the look? What's past, present, future? Right. That's the motto. So where's the other guys? Where's the guys of the company that started? In the middle. Why is where was the Richard Hitchensons and
Well,
those
that's the
guys?
thing. That's what I'm trying to
Why
say,
isn't those guys
Ishe.
being
He
promoted?
he does, like, you can see that if he wanted to be good, he could be good because when he was in the sport, like you said, he would promote you guys and everything was good. Towards the end, it, that's what Tank got, a little bit of his end relationship, and it helped him. But the eye for talent was there. We talk about all these good fighters leaving. Like Hitchens, look where he's at now. That's someone that Floyd had years ago. Jalil Hackett, it's just, again, Kermel Moten, he can find the talent. Jahan Ingram, he can find the talent. He just don't seem to have that time or, like you said, the love to cultivate that talent.
Well, I think he needed to take a collective bargaining to be involved. See, a lot of people like I'll say it off the record. I'll talk to people that I trust. You know, a lot of people get mad because I never really have spoken about what happened in the relationship, what happened with the business relationship, what happened with everything. And I said like this. I say, listen, if I was married to a woman for 20 years and the marriage was great and I found out the bitch was cheating on me the 19th year, she took my money, she did all kind of foul shit to me. Does that make me forget about the other 18 years or however long the other 18 years she was good to me? It absolutely does, because at that point I don't give a shit what the other 18 years or 19 years we was together, what was she, how good she was to me. I don't care about how many kids she gave me. All I know is the bitch cheated on me at the last year. She did me dirty. She did me foul. So I'm not going to speak highly of you after that. So I say that to say this: he has no interest in promoting fighters at this stage of his career. Anybody still hopping on that train and going over there wearing the hats, the socks, and TMT? No, he has zero interest promoting. He's one of the greatest fighters to ever live. He's just not great at promoting. Michael Jordan is one of the best basketball players, probably the best to ever play the game. He was shitty as a owner of a team. He could never bring a championship to the teams he owned, and there's nothing wrong with that. But stop running over there just because you're thinking this man is the best to ever do it. That he's going to have some epiphany and some light to promote you and get you all the way to the top. He's not that. He's not that. He has way too much shit going on outside of sport. He don't really care about the boxing side of things, man, and that's
But
unfortunate.
Ishe, but why can't Ellerby do more then? I mean, Floyd could still be the face, and Ellerby is the like. Why can't he do more? Because he seems to only
I don't
tweet about Tank. Like I never see him tweet about motherfucking Jahan Ingram.
I don't think Ellaby has the I don't think he has the authority. You know, it still takes money. It takes things to move. And where's the money coming from? You know, who's if you got to constantly call the CEO or the boss for money, to get money to do the things that you need to do, it just doesn't work. And for what I'm understanding is Ellaby is more phased out of that whole thing, and they're more on the PBC side. And if you really cared about the fighters, if you really cared about the fighters, I got it from the mud. Like, you got to promote at the local level. You don't need to be on big, like there's no way they should have a local show every month at
Yeah.
one of these
What
smaller
happened to
casinos in
Sam's
Vegas.
Town? What happened to the
Yeah,
Sam's Town's deal?
Samstown, Orleans. You got to have a local show that's getting these guys fights every month, every other month, man. And that's the thing. Back in the day, when I was with Guilty Boxing, that's the thing that Brad Goodman did. They had a little deal with the Orleans, and I was fighting like every other month, man. Every couple months, I was in the ring, and I went to Vargas camp. Gave him such good work. He spoke about me on the via satellite. This guy is great. He's gonna be champion. He's giving me great work. He shouldn't be on no local, he shouldn't be on no local club scene. And after that, I blew up. Gary Shaw signed me. These guys should be fighting locally, man. They should have a small, but it takes money to do that, and it takes a real promoter to promote. And the bad thing about that is there's nobody promoting. You
It's
got a
crazy.
guy who's saying he getting paid 300 million a month, and then you have these fans like, oh my God, yeah, he has so much money, bro. That man ain't making 300 million a month. That's 3.6 billion a year. Like, y'all believe anything? Y'all really believe this man is cashing out 3.6 billion in a year? Come on, man. That doesn't even make sense. There's no return. Oh, I bought a house in California for 25 million. It's worth 100 now. I got $100 million house in California, and I bought it for 25, but it's worth 100. You didn't buy a $25 million house in California, and you don't have. It's not worth. There's no real estate that's going to give you that kind of return in today's age. There's no real estate that's going to give you that kind of return in California. It's number one, you don't have the kind of land that you're gonna buy. It's just, dog. I hate talking to fans. I hate when they're like blind witnesses. And when you have real guys like the Mortons and the other guy that's really suffering from the lack of promotion, and they're more, it sucks, Ness. Because I was at that when at the end when it got real bad for guys. You know what I'm saying? I remember guys like, yo, I can't get in touch with nobody. Like, I haven't fought in months. I gotta feed. I got I got rent due. I remember those locker room conversations, bruh. And I remember like him doing interviews. All these fighters, these fighters, blah blah blah. They need to get jobs, and this is the type of narcissist motherfucker you dealing with. So at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. Like if it's best to go out here and get with the Eddie Hearns, the top ranks, the Bob Arums, those type of people, you got to do what you got to do to survive, man, to take care of your family. Because when you ain't fighting, there's no money coming in. There's no money coming in, and I feel bad for those guys. Like I said, and I probably even said more than I usually say, just ratting off shit on Twitter. But I remember those conversations, man. I remember those conversations, bro, with them fighters in the locker room, because the locker room is a safe space for the fighters. That's why I have my most intimate conversations with your Vernon Forrests and your Shane Mosleys and them type of cats, saying, man, hold your heads up. Especially Vernon, man. When I went to his camp, I was like, didn't have no direction, didn't know where I was going. And he was like, man, he was so thankful I came out there and helped him get ready for that Sergio Mora rematch. And he said, man, you remind me of a lot of myself, man. He was like, nobody wanted to give me no opportunity. And then Shane came and gave me my chance, man. He was like, you're good. You're going to be champion one day, man. And like I said, I don't give a fuck what nobody said about me, man. I got it out the mud. I did that shit the hard way. I started at the local club scene, fought my way up to being on HBO, Showtime, ESPN, Fox Sport. I fought on every fucking network. Then I went to the Contender, fell off, picked myself back up. And one thing I am grateful that I was able to win my world championship, and I was able to do so many things. But don't act like I still had to fight. I had to get that shit out the mud, the gritty and the hard way, man. And I will always respect for that moment, that time, the history, and being in the Hall of Fame. But at the end of the day, I remember those conversations with those guys, man, and how those guys were starving and having babies and wasn't fighting. And that's the bad thing. When you're not fighting and you promise a certain number and you promise certain fights and they're not fighting, you guys going 6 months, 8 months, a year, 18 months, and they not fighting, that's shitty, man. That's shitty, bro. And I'll never respect that. And I lost a whole lot of respect when I had to sit there and watch my brothers go through the shit that they was going through. So people say why I feel like that. Every time you see a motherfucker deflect, that's why I feel like that. Because I know what they're going through. I know what it is over there. I know what Richard Hitchinson was going through. What he say? I made the most money I made since I've been with Eddie Hearn. I know what that shit was like. I know what it's like dealing with Carl King and Don King, them two motherfuckers over there. And I feel bad for them guys, man. And like I said, I probably said too much. This shit probably gonna go viral because and a lot of people gonna say, oh, he hating, he this, he that. But I remember what them locker room was. I remember niggas like damn near in tears because they wasn't fighting enough and shit, and they wasn't getting fights and opportunities, and they wasn't even asking like for advances and all that shit. They just wanted to fight, bro. They just want to be active and fight. We talking dudes with under 10 fights, dudes that just wanted to have an opportunity, man. And it's a shame. And they probably will never speak up. They probably would never say shit. I remember Lonnie B. Oh, you beat this guy, we gonna give you this guy. You beat this guy, he kept beating guy after guy after guy. That shit never came, bro. It never came. He kept beating guy after guy after guy. So I got zero respect for that. And I don't give a shit what nobody I don't give a shit what nobody think of me or how they feel about me or what they bring about. Oh, your record is this. Yo, my nigga, I started when I was 8 years old. I had a dream to become Las Vegas first. I had a dream to go to the Olympics. I was damn near in the Olympics if it wasn't for a great nigga named Super Judo who beat me in the Olympic trials by four fucking points. I was almost there. I became the first champion. Like, I give two shits what anybody think about me, Ness. Everything I wanted to do when I was 8 years old and I started off boxing from being bullied, I fucking did it. I got zero fucking complaints about my career. I went out like a dog. I never got caught for cheating. I never cheated the game. I never did drugs. I never popped dirty. Like I never drunk alcohol or looked for corners to dish. Yo, anybody say shit about me, I give two fucks. My nigga, like I did it my way. I got it out the mud. And that's the way, that's the only grimy fucking way I know how to do it. And that's what I did. I did it my fucking way. And the 8-year-old boy that I post sometimes on Instagram, that nigga did that shit. And I have zero, you can't say shit about me sitting at your fucking couch not doing shit.
Yeah, man. I watched your career, man. So I know that your road to the top was not easy at all. You know, you had tough fights throughout. You fought all the names in boxing. So, you know, shit, man. You
I feel,
need probably to be a manager or something to help some of these dudes not make some of these mistakes, man.
man, I see guys make mistakes and I just sit back like, I see I see guys make mistakes in fights, man. And I just like, damn, man. Dev, my boy. I've been knowing. People think I've got some, like I got some in like I'm in Haney's camp. I'm actually not. I don't. I know the father. I know the family a little bit, but I really know the father and Dev. And I watched the kid come up as a little kid, going from gym to gym, and I watched his father invest in his career, got him a gym really young, and I watched him, just grind, and he's never really cut corners. And when you can witness somebody's ascend to greatness, when they can go all the way and achieve what they achieve, you gotta appreciate that, and it comes a little bit more personal when you watch it, when you got a front seat for it. So I've always been a fan of Dev's. I've always been a fan of Tank's. I mean, he he unfollowed me now because I'm definitely not supporting Ryan Garcia like he is. So I don't know what the infatuation with that is, but I've always been a fan of Tanks. I've always been a fan of Dev. I just, like I said, me, Tank just got issues because I don't support Ryan Garcia, and I wouldn't support anyone that's taking PEDs. That's just way I stand about it. There's no, that I can't support that. So he can cap for him and say he didn't cheat, but I know what it is. Everybody in this game knows how strict those tests are. Anybody that's been signed up for random blood and urine, whatever the case may be, they know how strict it is. There is no conspiracy. The man popped dirty 3 times. Just let the shit go, and let hopefully he can build on his career, man. But I'm always gonna support those guys, man. That's just the way it is. But
Let me ask
but
you a
being in the
question.
game is tough.
Let me ask you a question on that situation because we just had a guest, Jalil Hackett, was on, and we asked about the weight. Would you ever fight someone that came in 3.2 pounds overweight? And put yourself in Devin's situation. You are getting 600,000.
Well, you got to look at it. Dev took the fight. You only is. They probably figured the guy was overweight. Uh, and a piece of you is going to look. I'm not into the social media age. I never really posted a whole lot when I was training. I'm old school. I was always, you go to camp, you leave the family, you abstain from having sex, and I was just strictly old school. This new age is different, so I'm sure they felt like a lot of us felt, like I felt, that Ryan wasn't ready, right? So that's just the social media thing. I would, if I was training somebody, I would tell them stay off of social media. During this 8 weeks. If I was somebody coach, I would just say, man, stay off that shit. It's toxic. But to answer your question, I probably would have taken it, being that you train again. We're talking about this. If you don't fight, you don't make money. So you've gone to camp 8 weeks, 10 weeks. You've got nutritionists, security, strength coaches, your coach, then your bread that you've invested. So, and being that you're gonna make some extra bread out of the deal, you figure 600,000. Shit, yeah, I'm gonna take the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I would have taken the fight. That's hindsight 2020. Now, where it's unfair is the fact that he was dirty. Now that's a whole different ball game. And I even tweeted that, like, the weight isn't the problem. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he agreed to carry on the fight with the weight plus the performance enhancing drug, now we talking about a whole different animal now. And that's where I think Dev got robbed. And if it would have been him, it's so much. This game is so weird to me because I can only imagine if Devin would have been, let's just say Devin was Devin and Devin beat him, and he tests dirty, what would the fans be saying? And that's the part I don't like. And I did see Bill today on It Is What It Is. And I have been saying this as well, because I'm a student of the game. I try to watch, the guys I like. They fought the wrong fight. He said that, he went out to fight the fight because if they would have boxed, it wouldn't have been excited. They would have people would have been complaining, and I had tweeted like I had said that during this whole fiasco that Devin should have just been Devin. He should just box and not get hit. He's not a power puncher. You have to accept you're not a power puncher. Devin is he's a build up power. It takes an accumulation of punches to hurt somebody, and he should have just been Devin. And you never fight to change your style for people because they don't give a shit about you. They don't care how many times what warrior you had and as many times as you got up. You achieve greatness by being who you were and who you is. Don't change that for nobody. And I have been saying that. So it was I knew he did that. And when I listened to Bill this morning, I was like, yep, I can kind of tell that's they fought to appease, the fans and they
But
fought a style
but
that
you
he was
think that's
comfortable
true
with.
though? I mean, you got to think about it. He got caught like in the first 30 seconds. Then he loses that round, and I believe he lost the second. Then he comes back, and he pretty much won the next couple of rounds until the ninth. And I didn't see him not fighting himself. He just kept getting caught with that fucking left hook.
Ryan was being very kind
Well,
of inactive too.
I thought he fought the wrong fight by not boxing. I thought he was going to be something that he's not. And as a fighter, you got to know who you are. I don't care. One thing I learned, even when guys wasn't that great, a motherfucker that's 24-0 with 22 knockouts, I don't care if he hasn't fought the top guys. He's punching. He's punching. All right, let's clear the air. And one thing that Devin needs to realize is that you're not a power puncher. You don't fight your style. Fight your brand of fighting. You're not a. And I thought from the jump, he even after getting caught, I thought he wasn't jabbing that much. He wasn't boxing like we normally see him box. He did not use his legs like he normally does, and he's not at the stage of his career. All of us that had legs can get to our stage of our career where we don't have legs no more. Everybody says, "Oh, Lara is so exciting right now," because he sits. Lara don't have legs no more. We all lose them as we get older. They don't work the same. Not that he's shot, he just don't have the legs to move around like that no more. We saw with Floyd, he didn't move when he got older. And Devin's not that age. He should have used his legs and he should have boxed. And I definitely think they was a little unprepared for the left hook. That's his money shot. That is the shot that he can hurt you the most with. And I thought that they wasn't prepared for the feint and the check hooks and the jab, the hook off the jabs. I didn't think they was prepared for that. But I think everything that he
That was
experienced
crazy to
is
me
fixable.
though. Cause that's the one thing you knew he had, and that was the great thing about Bill Haney. He always taught Devin to fight the weapon of the fighter. So I expected them to be ready for the left hook, not get hit with it that much.
When the punch comes faster than your body can react to it, which is what was happening, there's nothing you could do.
Well, the thing about it is with the right hand on the side of your face, you don't get hit with the hook. He fell for every little feint, every little jab off the hook. So it doesn't matter how fast your hands are. It just matters if you have your hands up. So you can't punch faster than my hand can be on the side of my head. On the side of my head.
Right, 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 right.
protecting me. And I
Yeah, you're
think
right.
he
But he would
fell for
feint
too
them or
many.
jab off the hook and catch him.
Yeah, I think he abandoned his jab. And that was big because he was more stuck on, I'm gonna go get this motherfucker and knock him out. Uh, and I think they had saw there's some quitter in him,
But
and
let me ask you something,
correct.
EJ. If it was you and you got hit a couple times, wouldn't you have switched your game plan mid-fight and stopped chasing him down and then maybe did something different? Because Dev didn't switch his game plan. He kept doing the same thing.
I think I would have, when I didn't get, the only time I was stopped in my career was my very last fight of my career. So, and I've been in there with some strong ass power punchers. Even I didn't get dropped until my 17th year. So, uh, I think he should have just been who he was, man. And I think that right hand that was something, I don't know. Like I said, everybody's calling for Bill to be. It's hard for me to say get rid of your father and all of that when they've achieved so much greatness together. If Devin wants to bring someone
Exactly.
in, that's great. That's great. But I think when you achieve so much greatness and you become undisputed and you do so many great things, it's easier just to point and blame the trainer. But at the end of the day, I just think as a team they were unprepared for the speed and the hook, and they should have been. They've known enough about each other to know, like, 3 fights. But you have a situation where you're dealing with a guy that's fast, he's quick. And it just, for me, if he was on PEDs, that
Right.
just changes the game.
I
It
was
it
I was
just
about to
changes.
say,
Everybody says, well, they didn't help him land the hook. Yeah,
could have.
okay, that may be true, but at the end of the day, if if me and Ness are fighting, right, and Ness, we're fighting at 168 pounds, and I got to cut 30, Ness got to cut 30. And Ness is doing it out of the mud way. He's cutting, he's eating right, he's sleeping, he's doing everything by the book. And I'm cheating a little bit. I'm taking a supplement, whether it was the last 10 days or help me, deal with the effects of cutting weight. I'm not going through the human aspect of things. My energy is replenishing. When Ness is getting close to that 168, he's about at 171. He's fucking fatigued, can barely, can't eat nothing, mouth is dry. And I'm cheating. I know I'm not, number one, I know I'm not gonna make weight, because every fighter knows when they not gonna make weight in camp. They know, like, fuck it, I'm not gonna make weight. And on top of that, I'm cheating, but Ness is still getting it out of the mud, because that's the only way he know how to get it out of the mud. So Ness is still cutting weight. And finally, the last day, the night before he makes weight, shit, I'm going to bed at 169 pounds. I'll sleep off the pound, weigh in the morning and make weight. Shit, I go to bed. I'm like, shit, I run, bullshit. I'm about 144 pounds. Oh, shit, I ain't making this weight. Fuck that shit. And on top of that, I'm cheating. I know I've done stuff to lose weight, to enhance my muscle, to give me energy. That's where it doesn't matter about the punches. It matters for the unfair advantage that I took advantage of Ness in our fight, because Ness got it out of the mud. He did it the right way. The night before the weigh-in, he went to bed hungry and couldn't eat and couldn't drink shit to after the weigh-in. Not only did I cheated on the weight, I cheated by taking something that made me keep my energy and made me feel good. I got all the energy in the world because, shit, at the end of the day, I didn't give a fuck about the weight, and I'm cheating. So no, it doesn't stop you from blocking punches and all that shit. And you still got to go out there and perform. But I cheated the system. I cheated the progress and how the shit works and how the game works. I cheated the plan. And if you cheat the plan, you cheated your opponent. And that's why I say it was unfair. And that's not cool, because he cheated the process. And if you cheat the process, you cheat the fighter. And that's exactly what he did to Devin. When he cheated the process, he cheated the fucking fighter, and he cheated the fans. And anybody capping for that man, they need to take a long look in the mirror, because if you would cap for that man, look yourself in the mirror and say, would you cap if the shoe was on the other foot? Would you be capping for Devin if it was Devin?
Nah, Devin's become the villain, man. He's not the one that cheated, but somehow he's the crybaby. He's the one that needs to take the L and move on. It's a pretty unfortunate situation. Let me get to some of these super chats. Shout out to my guy Jahan Ingram, back with another 10. He says, "You know it's all jokes with the laughing out loud. You my guy, flex emoji for sure, champ. Appreciate it." Tevis Smith. This isn't one for you, Ishe, to give me your thoughts because we see this on Instagram a lot. It's a $10 super chat. He says, "Beef sells. People pay are drawn to drama. That's why The Real Housewives and other ratchet TV shows go do big numbers." Now, obviously, he's saying the whole Mayweather tank. People seem to believe in the boxing, not industry, but amongst fans and my callers that call in, they feel like, oh, every time he has a fight, this is the 50 Cent thing. They just do this to sell the fight. How do you know it's not a behind-the-scenes thing with Tank and Floyd marketing, where they always find a way to beef with each other where he got to fight like 50 Cent?
Because they're the process isn't intelligent enough, and I know enough from definitely not now, but uh I was in the know back when those old beefs, especially like the first one, and I know it was real beef. So I don't think it's beef, and I don't think it's beef where they will fight. And Floyd is such a prideful individual. He don't really do fake beefs like that. The 50 Cent thing isn't fake. They really don't fuck with each other no more. You know, and that whole thing is crazy. When I was on, 50 was on the team. 50 was in the gym. I got a picture with 50 and Floyd in the locker room, and I got a picture with 50 by itself. And truth be told, 50 started that whole money team shit. I mean, he started the TMT and the money team, and he started that saying, and then Floyd, ran with it. And I don't know. I just know he's not intelligent enough to say, let's do it for the cameras. And reality television, it sells. You have you'll have producers. I was on a reality television show. I mean, the fights were real. It was only 5-round fights and shit. But they would come tell me, "Oh, Ness said this about you. What you got to say, Ishe?" "Oh, really? Ness just did an interview with you and said this? Okay, bet. Let me tell you what I think about Ness." So, he said that too? Okay, bet. I can't wait to get Ness. So that sells, but you got to understand there's shit going on behind the door to sell. I don't think this is real life, and those guys are they're too alpha males. They're so much prideful, and I think so many things have been said like to hurt the egos, like the shit he was saying about being over in Dubai. That's like nothing that Floyd Mayweather is gonna find as a joke. Like that, I know the man. People gotta understand. I've been knowing Floyd since I was like 9, 10 years old. I sparred the man for the first time when I was like 11. He would come out here for the summer. I've been knowing that for decades. Damn near 3 decades. Over 3 decades I've been knowing this man. We went to the Olympics together. And I've been knowing him for a long, 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 very long time. So that is one thing that is not going. No, he doesn't do the whole talk shit about me. We gonna joke around. I'm gonna talk shit about you. He. We gonna giggle. They don't do shit like that. He's not pride about that. Like when Jake Paul snatched his hat, look at his face. Look how pissed he was. He was pissed. Like that's who the man is. He don't play games like that. So I very much think the beef is real. I definitely don't think they selling. And like definitely that other beef, that first beef, I know was real as fuck. Like I know that they had you. I just don't know what the infatuation is. 1 minute they're beefing, and then 1 minute Tank is like, "Oh, we good now." So I don't know. Like if I'm beefing with you, we got beef. Like it is what it is. I just don't fuck with you. Don't fuck with me, unless we sit down and talk man to man. But it's their relationship is too rocky. Like it's just they're two alpha males, and they one person sees one way, another person sees another way. I have said this even when the relationship is good, they'll never see eye to eye. And that's the thing about them too. They'll never see eye to eye because Floyd has it one way, and Javante has it his way, and he should have it his way. I mean, you look at him, and that's what it is. You know, I don't get it, but no, I definitely don't think it's fake.
Okay. Uh, Jahan back at us with another 2, and he says, "No lies told." And that was when you were saying the story about fighters in the locker room and, going all that time without fighting. And, he's a victim of that because he hasn't fought since 2022.
And that's see, everybody thinks. Listen, I'm an old head, man. I'm a '70s baby. I got the shit out the mud. I got it out the way. The same people I would see, the Terry Norrises, the Zuma Nelsons, the Gerald McCullens, and all those guys that I came up, Roger Mayweather, all those guys I adored when I was a little kid. They all trained in my gym. I would see, Mike Tyson, and I got it out the mud about, just watching them telling me I was gonna be champ. I have no reason to sit and hate on motherfuckers. That I think me and Shakur had words, and he's like, he took it as me taking a shot at him. I'm like, bro, it don't serve you well sitting on here bashing the promoters you about to go fight for. It's like, certain things you need to keep in house, and certain things you need to keep about yourself, because you don't ever want to find yourself in a situation where you need another promoter, or you need to work with somebody else, and they like, I don't want to work with this guy because he got all the talent in the world, but I know if shit go wrong, all he gonna do is go to social media and bash me. He's just gonna talk shit about me, and then you become to a situation, you become unmarketable. You want to market yourself. You don't want to be on this shit, complaining, bitching, all kind of, like, you want to be marketable. And I was trying to tell him that. He took it as me taking a personal shot at him. Like, oh, mind your business. No, I'm trying to give you game, little nigga. Like, get your ass off of here, train for your fight. You don't need to be on social media every fucking day complaining about, oh, Bud and Floyd. You're not Bud and Floyd. You're not the same. You're fucking Shakur Stevenson. You're not them. Like, he took it as me taking a personal insult to him, and that's what these niggas do. And then oh, well, you this, you that. My nigga, I did everything I wanted to do. I got no complaints about the game. So anything you say about me don't matter. Like, I don't give two shits. But I'm trying to put you on a little game. And that's the difference between today's fighters and yesterday's fighters. Because I was a yesterday fighter, and when Vargas, Mosley, De La Hoya, and the people I was in camp with, Forrest, when they would put me on game, I wasn't like, oh, fuck you, nigga. I'm going to get the. Look, I listened. Like, okay, man. And even if I agree, I always respected the OGs. Like, okay, all right. I listened. And that's the difference between these young fighters today and yesterday. I don't have no reason to sit on here like it and bash anyone. But just because I won't give y'all a play by play, just because I may sit back and off the record, I know Ness ain't gonna go say no shit. So just because I may give Ness play by play of what went down and what's happening, and I only give y'all bits and pieces, doesn't mean that the shit I experienced is hating. Like, I remember those conversations, and that's why that fighter can back it up and say facts, because he was a part of that. He knows, like, a fighter, like, he knows. I don't have to give y'all play by play. Just take the subliminals, and it is what it is. When you constantly see fighters dropping out and leaving, trust me, where there's smoke, there's a fire.
Yeah, man, that's the unfortunate thing because the fighters are now in a position where it's like you said they have no way to fend for themselves financially, man. They stuck in these contracts. It's crazy. I would love to see Leonard Ellerby get with Pro Box, have them do Sam's Town again. Bring back Sam's Town. It's 800. It's the same size as Pro Box used to be. Pro Box is going to D.C. with Lamont Roach. If they could go on the road for Roach, I'm sure they would go on the road for the Mayweather name and Carmel Moulton. Shit.
I would think so, but you gotta realize too, man. Like a lot of these guys that you see, a lot of these young guys that's great. Your Moultons. Well, he signed, but uh, the guy with Top Rank. I can't think of his name. Cashflow. A lot of these guys started off, you know, in some aspect in the Mayweather gym or under the Mayweather, and they all started in that. And if you the best ever, you really care about guys and making money and promoting, and you want guys to be their own bosses and all of that. If you really cared about all that, why are these guys that looked up to you? Why are they signing elsewhere? Why is Cashflow with Top Rank?
Right.
You know, why is these other people signing with other people? Why I think we got one fighter with Pro Box that you met because I saw him fighting on there. Um, why did they not sign with you? And that's the thing you got to ask
Yeah, you
because
talking about Robert Merriweather. He got his release and
yeah,
left too, and now he signed a Pro Box.
yeah,
And he's a
and that's
good fighter. That's what
yeah,
I'm
and that's
saying, though, Ishe. We going right back to the fact that this dude got an eye for talent, or because of his name, the talent attracts to, or he, is drawn to him. So you need a good, like, he's good just to be the face. You need Ellaby got to do more. He got to do more. Floyd
but
is the face that
LBA,
draws in the big name. Ellaby got to be the one to make that machine work.
but if I gotta wait for the money to come from the boss, it takes money. You know that, Ness. It
Yeah,
takes
but I
money
mean,
to run a promotional
bro,
company.
use Floyd's name. That's what I'm saying. Go to Pro Box. He's Mayweather Promotions. Go to Pro Box. Listen, I want to do Sam's Town. Mayweather Promotions. We got Jahan Ingram. We got Carmel Moulton. You know what I mean? We had Jalil Hackett. We could do a show. Like,
How
I
many
don't,
fights did Camel? How many fights Camel got? 2 or 3?
I think 2. I mean, 3 now, right? And look at what's going
Is
on
it
with
3?
him and Tank start beefing. Tank saying he not gonna be on the June card. Is that real now?
Is anybody can confirm if he got 2 or 3
I'm
fights?
checking it for you right now, champ. Give me 1 second. He's got Pro Box. Let's see. He's got 3. That last one was
All
the
right,
best one and a tough one. They put him in
when
tough.
did he fight? When did he turn? When did he fight? Turn professional?
September 30th, 2023.
So he got 3 fights. I mean, he's staying pretty active.
Hell yeah.
That's not that bad.
They believe
He's
in
staying
him.
pretty active.
But
Yeah.
that's unfair to Jahan. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
Jahan been sitting
it
around for
is.
2 years waiting on the fight.
It
Then it's like, oh no,
it
this
is.
kid, he could fight for a world title. He could beat Lee Wood right now. He gonna be on the Canelo card. He gonna be on the Tank card. And it's like, God damn,
No,
what
it
about
is.
me?
It is, and I would think that, especially looking at Moulton, I would think especially because a couple of those fights, I think one like first round, I would think he would be somewhere around 6, by September if they keep him active. But the problem I have is like the Jahans and all those other guys. Yeah, man, it's just they don't keep them guys busy enough. But that's not just the Mayweather. So we gotta get okay, because I told you the Mayweather is like the stepson to PBC. It's like the stepchild to PBC. That's how it's always been. It was even like that when it was good. But he took a more active role, making sure his guys got the fights they needed, and all the guys fought. I will say that, like Memphis, all the guys with, coming up, they fought. Cuba, like everybody stayed busy. But we was always the stepchild to PBC. So that being said, the PBC brand don't even fight enough. There was guys complaining about fights back when I was fighting, like, oh, I'm not busy enough. 18 months. What champion waits 18 months to fight, man? I'm from an era that the champion at least fighting 2 to 3 times a year. They oversaturated the market by signing so many fighters, and and they sign so many fighters, and you have We're not gonna work with this guy. We're gonna keep everything in house. The problem is now you got to keep everybody busy. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep everybody busy. And when you're not willing to cross the street, when you're not willing to make those fights, like when you're not willing to go to Top Rank and say, let's make this fight, when you're not willing to go to Eddie Hearn and say, let's make them fights, now you got to keep all those guys busy in house. So it becomes tough.
You run out of
When you got
dates.
run out of dates, you got 3 and 4, 3, 4, 5 junior middleweights, 10 super middleweights, 10 middleweights. You can't keep all of them busy. So I think the PBC model was bad. The model was bad. Sign all the fighters, and we're going to just fight them in house. That doesn't work. And I hope more fighters, more promoters do a better job at saying, hey, let's make the best and biggest fights for boxing. This is the only reason you got a guy like Jake Paul able to sell so many fucking pay-per-views and be what he is today, is because boxing has failed the fans. It has failed. And it has failed for decades because these promoters, they don't want to work together. They keep everything in house. They do stupid shit, and this is what happens. And this is why I respect the guy. Like I said, I'll say it again. This is why I respect the Devin Haney and this whole narrative. Oh, he's a weight bully. He's this. He's that. And I think even Regis chimed in, and I'm like, bro, it don't matter what the fuck I weigh at the weigh-in. Like, when did we start caring what a fighter weighed the night of the fight? When did that become such an issue? And even Tank has chimed in. Fight someone your own weight, bro. If I weigh 140 and you weigh 140, that's the only fucking thing that matters. When I weighed in 154, at fight night I used to weigh 168, 170. No fighter walks into the ring at the weight they weighed in. So what? We want to do it like the amateurs and do same day weigh-ins? Just weigh in the morning of the fight? Like, when did we become so protective of weight? And Tank is too fucking good to be complaining about what one is weighing. I just told you guys, I saw the guy knock out a fucking junior middleweight. What are we talking about here? Like, if like Diego never gave a fuck what you weighed. He didn't give a fuck. He would get it. I sparred Diego once. I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker is strong to fight that weight. I went in there bullshitting, like, okay, I'm gonna work with my nigga. He 135, I'm 147. I ain't gonna try to hurt him. I had to put my hands up real quick. I'm like, this motherfucker is strong. So what are we talking about here, bro? You get in there, you fight, you sparring junior middleweights, but you care so much about weight. And for a fighter that good, I don't think that's a good look. For a fighter that good as Tank and as great as he is, to be on social media capping for Ryan Garcia and complaining about weight, that is because it makes you low key look scared. It makes it look like you ain't got no heart. Like, what are we talking about here, Ness? If I weigh 140 at the weigh-in, you weigh 140, I weigh 135, you weigh 135, Ness, I didn't give a fuck if you blow it up to 100, 200 pounds. I don't care what you come in fight night. Like, when do we start caring about that, man? Like, what is wrong with these fighters today? I don't get it. Like, what the fuck is a weight bully? Like Gotti, when he fought Joey Gamache, go research that and see how big his ass blew up. Like, when did we start caring what fighters weighed? Like, that. This is fucking nonsense. As long as you make the weight on the weigh-in day, when do we start caring? Then he loses to Ryan Garcia, and Tank is like, yeah, you fought somebody y'all. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we talking about? We really talking about two guys that weigh the fucking same the morning of the weigh-in. That's what we talking about here. And because he comes in heavy the night the night of the fight, he's a weight bully. That doesn't make any fucking sense, man. Doesn't make any sense. You know who else is big for their weight? Felix Trinidad. Big as fuck for his weight. So we're gonna take all his great. We're gonna call him a weight bully too.
See,
He was a weight bully.
we had that debate here on the show, and I said that's the skill of a fighter. I think it's unfair to call, like they always used to try to call Earl a weight bully. I always defended him because it's like you're the one sacrificing to make the weight. How can you be considered a weight bully?
Where did that term even come from?
I don't know. I
Like,
mean, they used
I
it a
don't.
lot for Earl for sure.
I don't get. It doesn't matter if I weigh. If I make the weight the morning of the weigh-in, you make it the morning of the weigh-in. May the best motherfucking man win the next day. That's all it is. There's no such thing as weight bullying in this game. It doesn't exist. Weigh-ins have been going on for centuries. Okay, weigh-ins have been going on for decades, since the Sugar Ray Robinson days. You know what I'm saying? It has been going on for decades, man, hundreds of years. What are we talking about, Ness? Like, really, what are we talking about here? This is what you guys spend your time talking about? You know, they said the Jake Paul era was going to bring some dumbass fans to the sport. They said that. And I think we are in that era right now where these fans are just dumb as fuck. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, I call Ryan Garcia fans January 6th insurrectionists. That's what they are, because they're so fucking clueless of how things work and how this game goes. I'm like, bro, he tests dirty. There's no conspiracy. You are the same motherfuckers that was at the White House looking for votes. You know, like, there's no conspiracy. That whole thing, and I do this. I give anybody the smoke. You know, if I don't agree with something, anybody, I'll speak my mind for anybody. The whole Wilder Gov gate, I spoke about that and said that process is a little too tedious and a little too hard. You know, if he would have said Tyson Fury cheated with the raps, totally get it. You know, that process is a little bit more hard to catch. You got to be paying attention. But when the man said that he took padding out of the gloves and that that's, he was fighting me, I'm like, bro, like, that process is so fucking tedious that it would have had to make 3 and 4 people aware of the cheating. Like, the commission would have had to be on it, because as a fighter, we don't even touch the gloves. We only touch the gloves the morning of we only touch the glove after the weigh-in. That's, if Everlast is my sponsor and Grant is yours, you wearing black and blue, I'm wearing
90
white and
seconds.
red. I'm wearing white and red. You getting, your 3 pairs sent to the commission. I'm getting my 3 pairs after we weigh in. We both trying them on. I never even see the gloves. I never touched the gloves to that weigh-in, just like you. So whoever made Fury's gloves took the padding out then, and the commission didn't catch it. That's what they're telling me. And then the commission was in on it with checking the gloves and filling the gloves. They was in on it. So, I mean, we come up with all these conspiracies, and like I said, man, they said these fans were gonna be dumb, and I think we're in that era where the fans are just a little bit they're a little bit crazy, man, because I don't get it.
Yeah, nah, they definitely more on the fanatic side. That's what it is. They just believe their favorite fighter. You see that with Tank fans, Wilder fans, Earl fans. They just blindly believe. But that's good, from a selling standpoint.
Yeah, it's good for a selling standpoint, but at some point it becomes idiotic. The statements become idiotic. And like I said, I think, when you're a guy, when you're as great as a fighter as Tank is, I think to sit online and complaining about weight is just not a good look, because he's better than that. You know, even if that's the way you feel inside. If that's the way you feel inside, you don't say it publicly. You don't let the fans think that you worried about weight. And he's none of those guys are punching harder than him. I can guarantee that. None of those guys. Absolutely zero. Ryan Garcia, no. Devin, no. Regis, no. Teofimo Lopez, no. None of those guys are punching harder than you. Why do you care about weight? As long as they make the weight. As long as they weigh in the right day. Now, it's one thing if Tank weighs in 140 and somebody comes in overweight and Tank like, fuck no, I ain't taking. That's a whole other discussion. I won't blame him for saying nope, I ain't fighting. But to publicly sham somebody for weighing the same weight as you the morning of the weigh-in, that you're too good for that, man. You're way too good for that, bro. You have the chance to be one of the best in this era, and you should not be worried. I don't remember in recent memory any fighter complaining about one's weight, especially after the fact of making weigh-in weight. I don't get that.
On the earlier conversation, Tevis with a $10 says Dev didn't fight his normal style. He stood right in front of Ryan all night. He never stepped around or used his angles. He stayed toe-to-toe mode.
Most definitely. If you go watch Devin's earlier fights, even the fight with Regis, you'll see he moved. He used his legs. He boxed. People didn't like it, but he boxed. People give him shit for, the Loma, oh, he didn't really look. I've been a part of so many bad decisions. I never put that on the fighter. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter what you think if he lost to Loma or not. The judges saw otherwise. So he beat him. So, but if you even watch that fight, you watch some of, his earlier fights, you'll see he boxed. And I thought they had the wrong game plan. And I think social media played a lot into that. Ryan had us all fooled. As a fan, I can be fooled, but as his opponent, you can't. And I think, you know, as a fighter, when you go out, and this for any young fighter, when you go to camp, man, get your mind right. Get the fuck off social media, man. It is a very toxic and very it's a very place you don't want to be. You don't want to put that kind of shit in your spirit.
I mean,
You know,
that's
people telling
difficult
you
though, champ, because nowadays promoters is asking you how many social media followers you got before they sign you. Like we literally got a
well,
fighter that Happy Punch. Obviously, it's not. It's not professional boxing. It's that influencer boxing. But obviously, they told him he needed to get a certain amount of retweets. It's just social media is part of boxing at this point.
but I don't think the fighters are mentally capable not to digest a lot of the shit that goes on, a lot of the toxic environment that goes on with being on social media. And that's just my opinion, man. I think at some point you start reading the comments and you start protecting yourself, and you start being on it too much. And I
Yep.
think you spend too much. I think you spend too much time on it. So if I was a fighter, I would have a social media team, maybe recording a little bit. And I don't think you need to show everything in camp, like what you're doing, where you're running, where you at. I don't think you need. I'm still old school, man. When I go to camp, bro. Like you don't know where I'm at, you don't know what I'm doing. I'm busting my ass. You don't need to see everything. And I think fighters need to get back to that and stop showcasing everything they doing, because I guarantee a team member, if not the fighter itself, a team member is looking at what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And certain things is happening. And we live in an era now where fighters just talk too much. They like women, man. They talk, oh, I did this in camp and this one happened in camp and that. Yo, every camp I went to, Mosley when he fought De La Hoya the second time, Vargas when he fought De La Hoya. I told you about Vernon and Forrest and Moore. I went to that camp. I helped Chad Dawson in camp before. Every camp I went to, and they paid me, I took it as a privilege to be there, that they wanted me there. Like I was one of the chief sparring partners. If not the number one guy, I was up there. So I never went and disclosed anything about what they was doing in camp, what I did in camp, kicking ass in camp. I never confirmed anything to nobody. And I think these fighters now, man, they run and tell like women. They like social media women that slept with a basketball star. And they so quick to run. Oh, I beat so and so. It doesn't matter what you did in camp, my man. It matters what you're doing when those lights come on. And if I'm a fighter, I'm not bringing your ass back to my camp because of that. Like I won't use you if I'm Canelo and I see you went to so-and-so camp and you running your mouth, I'm not bringing you to camp no matter how good your work is. So I just think the game is it's different now, man. It's fucked up now. People think you become stars off a camp, and you got to put in the work, man. Don't matter how you look in spar. I knew a lot. Man, coming up, I knew thousands of world champions in the gym. It was some great motherfuckers in the gym. Them motherfuckers, but as soon as them lights come on, that wasn't them. The gym fighter and the light fighter was two different people.
But Ishe,
They
you
wasn't
gotta
the same.
understand again. I know that you come from an era where you not supposed to speak on it, but evolution is a thing, and Jahan Ingram is known around the world because of sparring, not because any fight that Mayweather put him in. No one knows Jahan because of the 2 fights he got in North Carolina. That we know him because he knocked out Rolly in the Mayweather gym in sparring. So other fighters see that. They see, oh, wow, now he got 40,000 followers or wherever he at this point. You know what I mean? And it's just part of marketing. In this day and age, it's part of marketing.
It is.
Even Devin Haney. Come on. Devin Haney is built off YouTube, who he beat up in sparring and who could not beat him in sparring.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. Listen, when you ain't fighting, you got to get it out the mud by sparring.
Exactly.
When you're not making money, you got to get it. You got to go to those camps. You feel me? Like you got to go to those camps, and you got to make money somehow. So I had a certain price. Like I had already knew I was gonna give you the best work in the book, but I wasn't fighting. So I'm like, shit. If I come to De La Hoya camp, you got to pay me $1,000 a week. Period. If I come to whatever camp I got to come to, you paying me $1,000 a week, and I will give your ass good work. And that was my price because I knew I was going to be one of the best sparring partners there. So I'm not mad at my man for getting it out of the mud. But at the same token, I wouldn't go to those camps talking about what I did to certain fighters. Like there's a level of secrecy and respect you got to have in those camps when somebody asks you to be at a camp.
Yeah, again, but these days things is getting out. Like, look, Jahan had those 2 situations. One is obviously with Rolly. He didn't record. He in the ring sparring. So what you gonna do? Not speak on what the world already seen? When asked about it, then you got the Shakur situation where, again, he ain't record. He's sparring. So Shakur's team put out whatever they put out. So, I mean, some situations just fall in your lap, I guess.
Yeah, his situation actually worked in his favor, because, not fighting and not being as known, it actually helped him out more. So there is some situations that I'm specifically talking about, the ones that go to camp and the first thing they do is run to the internet or and start leaking secrets what's going on in camp. Like the guy told Tank, "Oh, Ryan, he had a hurt, whatever." You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's got to be some level of secrecy going to these camps. But I don't knock him at all because he wasn't fighting, and he got it out of the mud by sparring. And that reminds me so much of that's how I got it out the mud. I never told Vargas to go on television and mention my name at all. I went there. Every camp I got called to, I was going there to beat their ass. That was and if I got sent home, I got sent home. I wasn't about to go to nobody's camp and be no punching bag. So I went to Vargas camp with that mentality. Like, I don't care you about to fight De La Hoya. I'm about to go there and whoop your ass. So I went there giving his ass good ass work. And in that process, I got to see how a champion conducts themselves, how they train, how they do everything. So I was always taking in so much information from all those camps, how they train, how they set up camps, how they interacted with people, how they did they think, how they treated people was a big thing for me as well. So I think that's where I gained the respect. And then, like I said, the locker room tell the best stories. And then when me and Vargas was in the locker room, he started talking to me and like, yo, so what's your story, man? Man, you such good work. Thank you for coming here, dog. I really needed you to push me like this. Like I needed this work. And I remember one day he was like, yo, just give me 2 more rounds. I'll pay you extra. Like, give me a couple more rounds. I need more rounds today. I was like, all right. I was like, all right, man. So, and when he started asking me my story, I'm like, yeah, I'm on the, I'm on the local club scene with Guilty Boxing. I fight like every other month, every couple months at the Orleans. And I started breaking down what I made. I was like, I make 1,000 for 4 rounds, 1,500 for 6, 2,500 for 8, 5,000 for 10. He was like, what? He was like, damn, did you have a good amateur career? I was like, yeah. I was like, I was one weight lower than you. I said, I fought 139 pounds. You fought what you used to fight 139, you moved up to 147. I said, low key, I want to fight. Not low key, but I'm like, I want to fight your ass. And he was like, oh, he started laughing. He was like, damn, I didn't know you fought in the trials. I was like, yeah. He was like, who you lose to? I was like, Zab. I was like, I lost to Zab in the semifinals. He was like, damn. It's like, I didn't know that, man. He was like, you know what? You too good to be on some local. He's like, I got a via satellite interview with HBO coming up. I'm going to mention you. So back then, I was like, he ain't going to, so many people say they going to do shit in this game. You'd be like, man, they not going to do shit. So he did what he said he was going to do. He did the interview, butchered my name because people can't say my name, but he did what he would say he was going to do. I took, at that point, I started getting massive calls from promoters, wanting to know who I was. Guilty Boxing took an offer from Gary Shaw to buy me out my contract, and the rest is history. So in that Jahil situation, I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? Because when you kind of in a fucked up situation, you got to do what you got to do to get out the mud. And like I said, it reminds me so much of myself, or how I got it out the mud when I was in a situation. My thing is I was fighting. I wasn't making no money, but at least I was fighting. But this guy wasn't even fighting. So, but I'm specifically talking about those situations where guys are quick to run to social media to talk about what they did in this camp, that camp, in this camp. And bro, that shit don't get you paid at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you got to fight when them lights come on. And if he couldn't fight, he wouldn't have got signed. He wouldn't have got picked up.
Champ, again, I get what you're saying, and you all right. It doesn't get you paid to tell people you beating on the spawn because you're hired work. But there is that one situation where Jared Anderson did get more opportunities because it was released that he did so well with Tyson Fury. And even, Fury, like in your situations, for instance, you said Fernando Vargas came out and spoke up for you. Fury came out and said, man, Danny, you know more than me what exactly he said, but basically paraphrasing, he's like, this guy kicked my butt. He's going to be a world champ, yada, yada, yada. And boom, Jared Anderson now is charging a whole lot of money for sparring.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, but did he go and specifically say I was beating Tyson Fury ass in camp?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, he was asked.
Okay, that's the difference we have here. That is what the difference we have. Finding out somebody was getting it in and getting their ass beat in camp, and specifically going to someone's camp and then talking shit about them while you was a part of their camp. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about, Ness. Them guys that was in your camp.
What about this situation? You was close to this situation. EJ literally made his name off of sparring Floyd and allegedly, I'm using air quotes, giving him a black eye. You remember that?
EJ was very good in camp. I'm not going to front.
And that's what happened. And then that got out, and all of a sudden he's next up, and Keith Thurman's ducking him, and everything came from there. So that what I'm trying, again, we going back to, yes, you're right, 1,000%. Don't speak on it. But if it got out, you better
As
speak
a
on it because
but
it's a missed opportunity.
I don't think Earl ever publicly spoke on it though, like saying he kicked Floyd ass.
Nah, he didn't. He didn't. But Earl had that, that character about him where he ain't got to say much, man.
I was at that camp. I seen a lot of those sessions, and that was some good ass work, man. That's what I can say. I remember that, man.
Okay, so
Brings back
since you know Earl or have seen him that long, do you believe there was something wrong, or was Crawford that good July 29th last year?
again. I'm probably gonna people gonna talk shit, and I'm probably gonna get some heat on this one. But I'm gonna say what's on my mind because that's the only way. Shit, this year I'll be 46, so that's the only way I know how to speak. I think Earl is a terrific fighter, great fighter, one of the best of this generation. I never thought he was gonna beat Bud because Bud is just a better fighter, and I haven't seen nothing like Bud that uses that switch style since Marvin Hagler. And Ennis is the closest thing, but Ennis hasn't. Ennis is another one that left the PBC model. We can get on that after this. We're not fighting enough. Ennis is the closest thing, but he hasn't beat the kind of guys that Bud has. The one thing that I would say, that probably hurt Earl in his career, in which a lot of people probably don't want to, is Earl. You can't be a part-time fighter, man. And what I mean by that is like you can't do a lot of the outside stuff to affect your body and to do a lot. And Earl, for me, I would see him. Earl would be twisted, like drunk out of this world. And it's only so many times you can do that to your body. Like you can't be drunk out of camp and then turn it on when you go to camp. And I think when you at that level, it's got to be a 365 day a year thing for you. And I don't, Bud looks like that. Every time I run into Bud, I've never seen him drunk. I mean, I would see Earl drunk at a show, I've seen him drunk a couple times, and I'm like, damn, bro, like he would be twisted. Now I don't know if he smoked weed, but I know he was drinking, and as somebody that didn't drink in or out of boxing, you know, and we don't know if he was. I think he was slightly intoxicated when he got in the accident, and I'm glad he got out of that one okay. God bless him to get out of that one. But that would be my hope for him going forward, is that he wouldn't be in the camp, out of camp fighter. But I never thought he was going to be. But I've always had a lot of respect for Earl. He was a great, he's a great fighter. I think he's beat a lot of names. He's good, but I just never thought he was going to be Bud. Bud is just a generational talent. At type of fighters, type of fighter that Bud is only comes once, once, once a while, man. And he's that guy.
Is he
Him,
beating
Usyk.
Canelo?
I would give him, if I had to bet right now, I would bet on Bud. I'm not. He's like
Even
a
without seeing
prime.
this upcoming fight, I mean, he still got hella time for this August 3rd fight. But you don't even need to see this fight because I don't know. People, I feel like they're not doing their research on this guy. This guy is like cut from that Loma cloth in terms of feet, Usyk cloth in terms of feet. And he's got power. He's got power. We seen
Generational talent, man.
we seen Bud get cracked by Kavalaskis, who doesn't have the movement of Masvidal.
Generational, man. That's all I can say.
So he's stopping him.
Generational,
Is he
bro.
gonna keep the knockout streak going in your opinion, or what? Because he got
I
like
think
11
Bud.
straight.
Yeah, I think Bud to get him late, man. He's just a generational talent, man. He's just one of those guys that you're just excited to watch. On the tube. We've had those. We had
All
those
right,
with
all right.
you know.
I'm hearing that. I'm hearing all that. Turkey Al-Sheet, he asked Benavidez to make 164. Was it Danny or 160? He said 164, right?
164.
Turkey Al-Sheikh, Rich Uncle Pennybags, you already know all the money in the world, was offering Benavidez 164 to fight Bud. Benavidez said there's no way he can make that weight. Cool. Should Bud fight him at 68, how does that fight play out?
No, I don't. I think Bud should not go up that heavy.
But I mean, he
it
going to 68 to fight Canelo.
Yeah, but Canelo, if you look at him, they're around the same height. Canelo is strong, but I think we got a little slippage with Canelo, and I think he sees that. I think Canelo is still great, but I definitely don't think he's the same Canelo that a couple, maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. I think we have a little slippage, and I think that's one of the main reasons he don't want to get in there with Benavidez. There's a little slippage, man, and anybody watching him that can say there isn't, they're out of their mind. And he's more prone to a little bit of injuries now. Uh, he's not the same. So I definitely think there's a little slippage. I think Bud sees that. And every time a fighter has gone up, you got to realize it has always been precise and the timing has been right. Sugar Ray Robinson went up and fought Joey Maxim. If it wasn't for heat exhaustion, he would have beat him. He collapsed he like fainted, collapsed in the ring. Joey Maxim, but Sugar Ray Robinson was winning that fight hands down. You have Roy Jones went up and fought John Ruiz, prime Roy Jones. There's no way John Ruiz was gonna beat him. The timing was right, and for Bud to go up and fight Canelo, I think the timing is right, and I think it's a dangerous fight for Canelo, because we do have that little slippage. The defense ain't as good as it used to be. The legs maybe not as bouncy as they used to be. And you look how many fights that man got. He has, man. And
yeah, he got a lot. Bro, we checked the rounds. Danny, how many is it? 489 rounds boxed, bro.
Canelo?
No. I think now after the Bivol fight, he is at 496 or 498.
Damn.
That's crazy, bro.
You cannot not have slippage with that many fights. And
or you could be a master at your craft.
No, I don't think so. I think I think he knows. I think if he was to, the problem I have with Canelo is, you say Benavidez this, I'm a Canelo fan, by the way. So there's no shit talk when it comes to Canelo, So I think he's great. I think he's fought the names. I don't hold him. I thought he beat Lara. I thought he's fought everybody. I thought he was young, and as for the Mayweather fight, I think he learned a lot from that fight, and then he's just gone. He fought Triple G 3 times. So you get no Canelo slander from me at all. I'm a big fan. The problem I have is when you keep saying you're going to fight on, right? You're going to fight on, and you keep giving us these bullshit fights when you know Benavidez has even said he would take way less to fight you.
I mean, was the Jaime fight a bullshit fight? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Kinda, yeah.
I never thought Jaime was going to beat him whatsoever. Never did.
But is it a bullshit fight?
That depends on your definition of bullshit, right?
In terms of marketing, yes, because everybody wants Benavidez. In terms of marketing, yes. So you're gonna go give us now the Puerto Rican? Is that who you're gonna give us next? If this Bud thing don't happen, yeah, you're gonna give us the Puerto Rican next? Come on, man. People don't want to see that. The problem is when you fight on, it looks suspect. It just looks like you are scared to fight the guy. And I think he would have been better fighting him a couple years ago when David first asked for the fight. I think he was primed to get him in. And I think the longer he waits, the worse it is for him. Because like I said, I do see a little slippage. I think he got hit a lot with Jaime. I think, his defense wasn't on point as well. I think he made a lot of mistakes. He didn't look like, he got tired late in the fight. And those are just all that Father Time doesn't wait for nobody, man. And, I think he's got to pick his opponents precisely. I think he's doing that. He's at that stage of career. I think if he was to fight Bud, it needs to be like a cash out fight and call it a career, man. He's one of the best to do it in this era. So, but I definitely don't think keep fighting on and giving us these fights, man. I just don't. That's gonna be a stain, brother. They're gonna be talking about that after he retires. How he dug Benavidez. People talk about that with Riddick Bowe. How he threw the belt in the trash can and didn't want to fight Lennox Lewis. So, I mean, that's gonna be a discussion that pundits are gonna always attach to his name if he keeps fighting on. If he keeps fighting on, pundits will attach that to his name that he ducked Benavidez, and he's too great of a fighter to have that if he keeps fighting on.
I could pick your brain all day, man. Wilder Zhang, June 1st. We are a few days out. Can Wilder be the old Wilder, or is Zhang going? Because look, Southpaws have always given problems. Spielka, smaller cruiserweight, problems till he got knocked out. I mean, he always had the problem solver with the Southpaw, but he would be losing rounds in the eyes of the public versus Southpaws. But this is a slower Southpaw and Big Bang Zhang. What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna ask you a question. So now I'm gonna be the interviewer. What kills a fighter more than anything? What you think kill a fighter more than anything?
Inactivity.
And that's been the biggest problem with Wilder, man. Inactive, brother. Inactive. So I don't know. I have to go off. I don't have nothing to go on,
But we
man.
got
I
the
gotta go
12.
off.
I mean, we got the 12 rounds. You can't call it inactive no more. He just fought Parker 12 full rounds.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta go what you gave me last time. And I was so shocked at how bad he looked. You know what it looked like? It looked like a fighter who's been around the block, a puncher who just couldn't pull the trigger. And I was shocked that he lost that fight. I was I was completely figured that Wilder was going to knock this dude out, but he just could not pull the trigger. So I don't know what Wilder I'm going to get. I don't know. I got to go off your last performance because that's the last thing you gave me. See, I'm not a in the past guy. I'm off of what have you done for me lately type of guy. I'm not what you did for me 3 or 4 years ago. So what have you done for me lately? And it looked like you was a guy that's scared to pull the trigger. And I love Wilder. And I said everybody was saying, he lost a lot. And I was the one person saying, and I picked Usyk to win. I was the one person saying that we don't know what what that trilogy took out of Fury. We don't know what the trilogy took out of Wilder. And we saw with both of their last fights. We saw when he fought Francis. He got dropped. Let me tell you, everybody say, oh, he took him lightly. One thing is taking him lightly, a whole other thing is getting dropped. That's a whole other ball. From a guy that never had a professional fight in his life. That's a UFC fighter that is only known to have a punch, and you call yourself the greatest heavyweight, better than Ali. Come on, man. Ali would have never. So I can only go off what I seen last time. So with me, I don't know if the old Wilder shows up and he has an epiphany. He sparks this dude. But if that Wilder shows up that I saw last time, he gonna be in for a long night. A
I agree.
long night. And the best heavyweight out of all of them, the best heavyweight going out of all of them right now is Joshua. Joshua, I'm talking about them. Of course, you got Usyk. He's the number one guy. But I'm saying out of the ones that has lost and has built themselves, and out of the Furies, Wilders, and those guys, I got to go with Joshua, man, because he's looked the most consistent. But I just don't know what Wilder I'm gonna get, Ness. I don't know who's gonna show up. I hope it's the old Wilder because he's good for the heavyweight division. But I was so
Can a
shocked.
fighter come back? Like in your experience, can somebody like Wilder, who seemed to have such a change, come back to his old ways?
Man, it's hard, man. It is so because I don't know where he's at. When a fighter can't pull the trigger, that's tough, man. That's fucking. I don't know if is that can he pull the trigger, and that's tough. I'm gonna tell you when I knew you know what, I got to get out the game. Is I was in camp and I was getting ready for Lubin, and I was like all the camps I told y'all I done been to, and I was kicking ass. They would have a good day, I would have a good day, and not to mention like the Floyd Mayweather camps and all the camps I've been into, and I was struggling with this fucking guy, man, and I was getting hit way too much, and the fucking punches. I'm like, why the fuck am I getting hit? It's like I couldn't react or see the punches like I did when I was younger. And I was like, man, as a fighter, you like to tell yourself that you got enough. Like, come on, man, get this shit together. Come on, man, you got enough. Just get through this fight. You got your team members here. You got everybody here. Everybody's expected getting paid. But I remember I was coming home. And I go out eat with my lady, and I'm like, man, these punches hurt now. I was like, I'm not seeing these shits like I used to see them. And she was like, yo, you gonna be all right. And I'm just thinking, like, in my head, I'm like, shit, I don't know if I'm gonna be all right. So as a
Do you
fighter,
agree with like? Do you agree with like? I was a fighter too, and where Wilder said, I don't have that rage in me anymore. I'm more at a peaceful place in my life, and I kind of went through that. Do you think there's something there to be said? When you're younger, you're angrier, you're frustrated, and as you get older, that
oh,
kind of dissipates.
absolutely, you know, absolutely. I don't know if you can get that back. Like I said, it's like me when I started. When I knew, I was like, if I get through this Lubin fight, it may be like one more, but that's it because I knew like fighters don't lose it in the fights, so fighters don't lose it in the fights, they lose it in the gym, and I wasn't gonna be that guy getting my ass beat in the gym and end up not being able to speak and not being able to be there for my kids, not being able to understand shit. And I see fighters like that all the time. So I think while the situation is, can he turn it on? Can he get back to who he was? But I was so shocked at how he looked like a guy, and that guy wasn't a world beater that he was fighting. Like it wasn't what the guy did. It was more so what Wilder didn't do that surprised everybody. And I just don't know if you can bounce back from that. I don't know how you tell a fighter that's been through a lot of wars, that probably put together the greatest trilogy we have ever seen. Drop Furry like 5 times in that trilogy. I don't know how you tell a guy, to pull the trigger. That is one of the first thing that goes. But a lot of that happens with inactivity too. You're not confident anymore. You're not confident in yourself and your well being, and that happens a lot when you get dropped and when you get stopped. You're just not as confident. You're worried about getting hit. So a lot of factors goes on. So a lot of questions are going to be answered Saturday. I don't know who to lean towards with. If it's the old Wilder, he sparks the guy. If it's the guy I saw last time, it's gonna be in for a long fight, and I really don't want to see that. I don't want to see him go out like that. He's better than
I
that.
mean, and Zhang too has been so inactive lately. Like, so this could be a snooze fest.
It could be if nobody wants to pull the trick. If nobody wants to pull the trigger, it could be. You know, I was just so. I mean, don't get me wrong. Wilder's last opponent, his team did a terrific job having him ready, but and he was ready for the fight. He was ready. But if anybody says he wasn't there to be hit and Wilder just didn't pull the trigger, they're absolutely out of their minds. Because Wilder, if it was the younger Wilder, it would have been a different story. It's just he might be at that stage where just pulling the trigger and putting himself at risk, maybe not something he wants to do anymore, man. And I don't know, man. I hope we get the old Wilder back because he's good for the sport. He's good for boxing. A lot of his methods I haven't, a lot of his sayings I haven't agreed with, specifically the gloves. And I didn't like when he said he wanted to kill somebody in the ring because I was
I'm
actually
with
at
you.
a fight. I was at a fight where Levander Johnson got beat up And then I went home that night only to find out he passed away the next day. And I witnessed that live and I saw his family. And so saying you want to kill somebody in the ring is a really touchy subject for me because I was a young pro and I didn't like that. So a lot of his methods I didn't agree with, but I do acknowledge he's been a great heavyweight for this generation, and he's a powerful puncher, and I just don't want to see him go out like that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the whole heavyweight division is literally like on its way out. All the greats, they got, they're all mid, late 30s. And then what do we got left?
Yeah, the heavyweight division ain't what it used to be. That's for sure. It's not. I mean, it's not what it used to be. It used to be the prime division, and that's no knock on Usyk because he's beating the guy that was the guy that is the guy. So it's just
Right.
the division as a whole is just not good. But it does not take no slight away from what Usyk has done by no means, man. That guy is special. He's one of the greats to ever do it. I
Did you
mean,
pick
one
him
of the
beforehand?
Yeah, I was about to ask
I
that. Did you
picked him
think he was going to beat Fury?
Yeah, I
Damn.
picked him before. I did a
So,
podcast and picked him. I picked him majority decision on the podcast they had.
damn.
I was on a podcast and
Yeah,
I picked him
all right,
majority
but
decision.
you was certainly like, damn, you felt wrong rounds 3 through 9, right?
I know.
3 through 9, but I always felt like that. I always felt that the fights took the Wilder trilogy took a lot out of them brothers, and I was always holding on to that. And and when and when he fought Francis and he looked that bad, and then I said this on that podcast I was on. I was like, I know it was only like a few seconds, but he didn't look great in the sparring video that we saw that he got cut. I'm
So
like,
you think
what are
you
you?
think the Wilder fight took a lot out of him because he only got hit with a few flush shots?
Absolutely, I think that those man,
Interesting.
it's only so much you can't keep getting dropped like that, man. Those fights were tough on him, brother. Well, I think it was 4 to 5 times that he got
Yeah, he
dropped.
went
One,
down a
he
bunch of times, but
barely
other
got
than
up,
that, he barely got touched.
but I don't know, man. Those trilogies. I mean, the first was a draw, but a lot of people had him winning. He got dropped twice in the first one.
Yeah,
One time,
but
fucking, I think the angel from heaven woke him up at the last minute, and he happened to get up. I think he
well,
got
let me ask you
dropped in
this:
the second.
why do you think Fury didn't do what he did to Wilder to Usyk, maul him, lean on him, use his size? Why do you think he decided to get on his Muhammad Ali shit instead?
I don't think that ref was going to allow that. That ref is a no nonsense ref. Uh, I don't think he would allow. I don't know why he decided to box more. I mean, he's not. Let's we have to put the greats where they belong. Muhammad Ali is the greatest heavyweight to ever live, and I didn't have the pleasure of watching him fight. But the reason they said that he was great and all of this, him and Sugar Ray Robinson was friends and all of that. They said Ali had the hand speed of Ray Robinson with the movement. There's no heavyweight that moves like Ali, man. No heavyweight in today's game, and Fury don't move like him. So we have to put the greats where the greats belong. That's where this whole pound for pound thing started with Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali. But that dude was something special. And again, we talked about it earlier. As you get older and your legs go, Ali lost 3 years of his career because he wouldn't go into the army. When he got drafted, and he came back
Fury
and was
lost three
still that dude.
years, and he came back and killed Wilder. And
He
and
did.
just like Ali, Fury got a loss. Like, we can't say. Listen,
I don't think
I mean, Usyk is 2-time undisputed. I'm not a historian. I just know Joe Frazier was good, but did he accomplish all that?
he beat
Well, back when
Joe Frazier.
Frazier fought, there was no
Let the
undisputed.
man answer, Marco. How about that?
Sorry.
We have Ishe on the show.
I don't think. I definitely don't think Fury is nowhere close to Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali set out 3 years because he had no choice. Fury just went away for 3 years. He did come back and he beat Wilder. I will give him that. I picked him to win those Wilder fights. But I think when you do so much to your body and you put your is again that part-time fighter situation we talk about, when you do so much to your body, whether it's alcohol or drugs, I just don't. And what made me say that he may not be the same is because of the Francis fight, man. He just didn't look right. He did, and people could say, Ness, I haven't been
I'm
in.
picking him to beat. I'm picking him to beat Usyk in the rematch in October, man. There's
Nah, hell no.
I can't unwatch rounds 3 through 9. Usyk had no fucking answers. He couldn't even reach. It felt like a giant fighting a little man. Like, he couldn't reach. I hate to say lucky punch, but if that punch don't land, why wouldn't Fury keep doing
Ness,
what the fuck he's
He was
doing?
being chased.
Ness, don't do that. Don't do that. You too
Ishe,
smart for that.
Ishe,
I'm not
Ishe, you don't
saying-
feel like Fury played with his food? You don't feel like he played with his food?
Like, I mean,
No.
what fights were we
So
watching?
So how long he gonna keep playing with his food before we say that's the guy?
No,
So did he play
I'm
with
saying
Francis too when he
in the
got dropped?
rematch. I'm saying in the rematch he won't. In the rematch he will. Bro, look at the body shots he was landing on. Usyk ain't want no smoke. He was fucking him up to the body, man. I can't believe y'all. No way. I'm picking Fury hands down in the rematch, bro. He just gotta
Fury-
bring it. He just gotta
If he
bring
dances again, he better get on the front
He
foot.
He may not be able to bring it no more, Ness. That's the thing.
I can't believe
That's
that.
the thing.
Listen, I can't
He
believe.
may not
Listen,
be able to bring it.
what heavyweight you see run miles? Fury out here running 4-6 miles. Like, I can't believe that. I can't. Only
Hold on,
Jared.
wait.
Only Jared running like
Ness.
Fury.
Ness, you see a clip that's 30 seconds long and you believe he running 4 to 6 miles, Ness? Come on, man.
Ah, shit. I do. I believe him.
Ness, man, I cannot believe that. You said lucky punch. Ness,
No, it
come
wasn't.
on,
We
man.
both know it wasn't a lucky punch. I'm just saying, until that shot landed, it was looking like a schooling. I'm literally screaming at the screen like, bro, they said this dude was a master boxer. Fury just
Yeah.
kept him at the end of everything, turning him, pop, 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 pop.
But
Stay
Ness-
over there, body shot this, body shot. I mean, come on. Why would you ain't see that?
Ness, he was stalking him. Fury kept stalking him. Eventually, that takes its toll, right, Ishe?
You mean
It
Usyk kept
takes its
stalking
toll,
Fury?
That's what I meant. Usyk kept
But
stalking him.
man.
Yeah,
listen,
and that's why the
Ness,
second fight we gonna be in better conditioning, and we also not gonna play with the food. When we hurt him to the body the way that we did in the last fight, we gonna capitalize. We gonna capitalize.
What's all this we stuff?
Ness,
I'm Team
I
Fury.
haven't been in the gym in 5 years. I haven't been in the gym in 5 years, Ness. Listen, there's nobody, even an MMA fighter, that's gonna come into with me not even being in the gym. There's nobody that's gonna come into the ring and beat me that's never boxed before in their life.
You tell him.
Nobody. I don't care if you're an MMA or not. You're not. I know too much. I started when I was 8. I didn't retire till I was until my 40s.
He
Dude,
says
he got
heavyweight
dropped by
boxing. It's
an
heavyweight boxing.
It doesn't matter. He got
What?
dropped by an amateur.
Yo,
An amateur that never fought.
Ngannou is the biggest puncher in the UFC.
The guy's
think.
been working
Hey.
with Dewey Cooper for years.
Yeah.
Like, many years.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come
and
on,
listen. Ibn Kaysen, the trainer from out here in Las Vegas, bro, he swears by watching Ngannou spar Joe Joyce. He always told me he thought Ngannou was gonna beat Fury. Just
Ishe, I know what
based,
you mean.
just
Let me
based
tell
off
you-
of
let me-
based
let me-
off of watching him spar
me
Joe
tell-
Joyce years ago,
He has
before
more
this ever
experience, like-
manifested.
Everything you said about Francis, just go watch that Joshua fight and come back to say.
No, I seen the Joshua fight, but Joshua, he's different. Joshua took him serious. Why? Because he already seen what he did to Fury.
So my point exactly. So if you how many times is this dude gonna play with his food? You said he played with his food. He played with Ngannou. Why wasn't he more prepared?
But
Look
Ishe,
what
that's
happened in the
okay
Wilder
though.
rematch.
But that's okay. Ali lost. He lost to Frazier. Yeah, I mean you
Are
can
you
lose.
saying? Hold on, wait. I see you keep doing this. Are you saying that Fury? Is there any indication? I want to get this on the record that you're saying Fury is on the level of Ali.
I mean, no other heavyweight moves like
He
Ali
could
other than
move.
Fury.
I'm with
My
Ness.
Right
goodness.
there.
Move.
Right there.
Oh
Right there
my.
off the bat, no other heavyweight in the heavyweight division moves like Ali other than Fury.
I'm with Ness.
No other heavyweight in
6'9"
the
though.
heavyweight division can switch like Ali, like Fury. You know, he does the rope-a-dope without getting hit. He literally does the rope-a-dope without getting hit.
God, man.
I mean,
6 inches taller, 60 pounds heavier than Ali too.
is it not there? I mean, the footage is there. Like you seen him do it in the Valine fight. You seen him do it in the Schwartz fight.
Come on, Ness. Have you watched enough of Muhammad Ali, man?
I mean, obviously, I
I'm
watched
just a
the
historian. So
I'm not a historian.
No.
I'm not a historian.
I've seen so. You know what Ali would have did to Fury? He would have did exactly what he did to George Foreman.
Nah.
Ali would have
No way.
played
No way.
with Fury.
Listen, first
Fury's
of
too
all,
big.
first
He's
of
too big. It's
First of
different
all,
eras.
Foreman and Tyson don't even have the same mentality.
Foreman
went in there
would've
and he thought he was
parked
gonna chop.
Tyson Fury.
He thought he was gonna chop a tree down and wore his big ass out. While Fury is a boxer, like we
Agreed.
seen him outbox fucking Usyk, the master boxer. We seen
Different
that.
eras, man.
George
The
Foreman,
size difference
George
is like a
Foreman
cheat
would have
code.
knocked Fury out.
Listen, Fury.
And that's facts.
How many people Ali had to rematch, Ishe?
He had to
Yup,
rematch
and
a
some
lot.
people
He
think
rematched
that he
a
never
lot of
even
them.
beat
All right,
Norton.
then. So Fury's legacy ain't over, man. It ain't over.
Why don't
His
you think he
legacy
could do
not
what
over,
happened
but
with
he's just
Wilder?
not as great. He's not as
He
great
boxed
as
Wilder,
he
then he
was.
came back and knocked him out. Why do you think that won't happen against Usyk?
Well, he keeps
I don't
telling
think
you
he's
why.
knocking
He keeps
Usyk
telling
out.
you why. He already said that he feels Wilder's not there anymore. He don't have it anymore.
No, I'm saying why doesn't he think that Fury, who made a mistake of boxing Wilder the first time, came back and got in the front foot? Why do you think?
Same reason, because he
Oh, you
feels
think
that
he
they.
just doesn't have it in him?
Yeah,
All
he
right.
feels that they both have lost something from each other by fighting each other. Those fights took
Yeah,
something.
I think he.
Well, that's possible.
I think they both got some slippage. That's me. I think they both. I've been saying it for a while now. I said they both got some slippage, and we got to see. And that slippage showed when he fought Francis. I mean, he doesn't. Honestly, he doesn't have a chin. If you touch his chin, he gets hurt.
That's
And this
true.
Yeah,
is who you're
but
calling.
that's normal. He don't get hurt. This the first time we seen him hurt. Let's be real, man. I ain't even see Wilder
How
hurt
many
him.
times has he been dropped?
No, he
He's
gets
been
dropped.
dropped a lot.
Tito Trinidad gets dropped.
Nah.
What?
Yeah, but that's true.
They're not the same.
It is the
Come
same.
on,
It
man.
kinda
Listen,
is, 'cause he would
listen.
get up
You
too.
know what's not the same? Gamboa and Trinidad and Tyson. Gamboa gets dropped, he can't win. Tyson gets dropped, he comes back and wins. Trinidad got dropped, he come back and win. That's the difference. Gamboa has 16, maybe 18 knockdowns in his career, bro. It's different.
Fury does go down a lot, though.
Yeah, but some
Fury
people
goes down, he
chinny.
can't-
Some people chinny, but his recovery
Okay,
is like Wolverine.
That's
Give
true
me
too.
this. Prime Mike Tyson against Tyson Fury.
Come on, man. History shows us that Tyson Fury would have destroyed Tyson.
I don't know about that.
Prime
I'm telling you.
Mike Tyson.
1988
Before Buster
Tyson. I don't know if
Douglas.
it might be too.
Before Buster. Let's talk about before Buster Douglas.
I'm not a historian.
Yeah, Ishe, you mean like
did
Michael
Evander,
Spinks
did
Tyson?
Evander beat him before?
Yes.
Before
Nah,
Buster
after,
Douglas?
way
No,
after.
I'm a historian.
Me too,
Prime
me
Mike
too.
Tyson knocks Tyson Fury out. That's just
I
my
don't think
opinion.
anybody beats Prime Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, based
That's
off
the
Fury, I mean, his power, and again, Fury didn't take the pressure of Usyk as great, so I guess Fury, Mike's, movement could give him issues, but again, I can't unsee bigger men beating Mike. We seen bigger men keeping him at bay, and
That's a different
Fury's,
Mike, though.
Fury's a master boxer.
Not Prime.
That was a different
Razor
Mike.
Ruddock
Yeah.
was a bigger man. Couldn't beat him. Not Prime.
Yeah,
I'm
but
going Prime.
Ruddock did again.
That's not prime either.
What heavyweight outside of fucking Ali has the legs of Tyson Fury?
Nobody.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't keep putting him in this Razor Ruddock box.
Man,
Razor Ruddock was
could
after his prime.
Hold on, we got to get off this perception that Tyson Fury has legs like Ali. Ali could use those legs for 12 rounds. He moved around the fucking ring like a lightweight. Tyson Fury
because he was 6'2". He was 6'2".
Tyson Fury loses his legs for 1 minute of a 3-minute round, and he's Ali.
No
Against
way.
Klitschko, he boxed them all 12.
No way. Klitschko, he outboxed the whole fight.
All 12.
And look at all the rounds he outboxed Usyk. Fury Wilder won. He was on his toes. Nah, champ. Nah, he's good, man. He should have never lost this fight because he ruined his legacy in the eyes of the people. They so quick to turn on him. But I got to remind him, he got one loss. He got one loss.
He ruined his legacy with Francis.
Nah.
A lot of people thought he lost that fight.
That shit was still an exhibition type fight. That shit don't count.
Nobody
thought he took that serious. Nobody thought he took it serious. Bro, listen, first of all, Ishe, hold on. Factor this in, Ishe. They giving you $50 million for that fight with Francis, but you about to make $145 million. That's what's being reported, right? That he made $145 fucking million. So what am I gonna do? Am I gonna take this fucking galumpo all serious, or am I gonna protect the bag that's coming after this guy? I'm not worrying about this guy. We all know we're not worrying about this guy when I'm making almost 3 times the amount. That's what's being reported. Look on the internet. They talking about $145 million that he made. That's insane. So of course I don't want to get hurt. Of course I'm not. Oh, he knocked me down. Big deal. I got to prove something to you guys when I'm going to lose the bag to prove something? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I don't believe he took it serious because of what was in store for Usyk. And guess what's in store now? An even bigger rematch. And I know he's winning the rematch. And if not, I'll be okay being wrong.
So you think he got the rematch in the bag?
October is going down. It's going down. Bro, he was too little. He showed y'all from rounds 3 to 9. Fury just got to stop fucking bullshit. How many times he ain't hurt this man to the body? We all see it now. First, we thought the Dubois fight was the sign, but as you know, some of us want to be on the fence. Say, oh, it could have been low. Maybe it was low. Man, we see that clear as day. This dude is Loma. It's just a bigger version of Loma. He don't like it to the body, and Fury is good at punching to the body from a distance at that. I don't know. I mean, again, Usyk has the tape. He can also improve.
What do you think Usyk is going to do, man?
Yeah, that's what I said. He also got the tape. He can also improve. I'm totally overlooking that he can make adjustments, but
Yeah, but if what Ishe says about Fury losing something permanently is true, which it could be, then we have a problem.
No, it could be because who expected Fury to get fucking destroyed by Usyk with that punch? We never seen him hurt by Wilder that bad. Like Fury was lifeless,
and that punch,
bro. Lifeless.
That punch wasn't
He
hard.
looked like a puppet on strings. He was just dangling. I can't believe what I was seeing. I never seen him that hurt. Wilder never hurt him like that.
It was a sneaky punch more than a power punch, it looked like.
Have some slippage out of those two brothers, and you fight that many rounds that they fought, and Wilder got some slippage, and you can't keep getting dropped like that and think it's okay. Like, you can't, because it becomes a point like if you constantly getting, you constantly spraining your ankle over and over again, sooner or later the ankle's gonna get bad, right? And when you constantly get dropped like that, it becomes like in your body, like you get touched. He just can't take a punch, and everybody is looking past it. Like, your body is like, when I was younger and I was fighting the Randall Baileys and I was fighting the whole Joel Julios, my chin was golden, That first time when I fought Vanas and I got dropped and I was looking around like, what? I counter right hand, I'm looking around like, what the fuck? I'm on the canvas. And I got up. When I would get hit with a good shot, it was easier for my body to tell me I was hurt. And I could feel it. Like, fuck, I'm hurt. And you can't keep getting dropped like that and think it's not going to become a repetitive thing. It doesn't work that way.
That's
Trinidad
true.
was always knockdowns. He would get knocked down and he would get up. But this guy gets knocked down and he's hurt. That's we're talking about a whole different thing. It's like one guy, it's like being in the NFL, right? You get hit with a good
Yeah,
shot. You get
but Ishe, I think
wait. You in the
he only got
NFL.
hurt in this fight.
You got no. He's been hurt in several fights.
Which
He
fight?
was hurt in the Wilder fight. He was hurt in the
When?
Wilder fight with those times he was knocked down. He barely got up one time. Ness. He
Bro,
barely got
Nah,
up.
he looked good.
bro. I can literally pull up scorecards and show you times where Wilder knocked him down and he came back and evened out the round, man.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can't. It's like when you're tackling in the NFL and you get hit with a good shot. You get tackled with a good shot and you have a concussion, right? Those guys that have concussions are known to have more concussions. If you keep having them, and some of those guys, you can't keep getting dropped like that and think it's not going to be easier for you to get dropped. I think we're seeing the end of Tyson Fury. I don't think he's going to get better the next
Oh
time
man, you
around. I
killing
think
me.
Usyk is going to win the rematch. I think Usyk is even going to be better. I picked Tyson Fury to lose
You're killing me.
after everything than what I told you. After the Francis fight, after the Wilder fight, after I seen the clip in sparring, I picked Usyk to win a majority decision. You know why? Because I figured Tyson Fury would stank up the place for long enough to make the fight close. And that Usyk is fresher. He's fighting the better people, and he just looks the fresher of the two. He's got it's a lot of
If
miles on that 6'9" body, man.
if
A
Tyson
lot of
Fury
miles.
boxes and goes on the front foot, combines both of those, I think Usyk's gonna be in trouble. Big trouble.
Ishe, let
He
me
might not
interrupt you.
have
Let
the
me interrupt you,
legs to do
champ. I got Jahan, who obviously the show is part